Welcome to Thez Nutz Garage, and today we might just buy a limousine. Alrighty, today we're at a local pick and pull, and no, I am not buying that limousine out front. Lord, looks like it needs a lot of work. But what I am doing is trying to find some small interior pieces for Phil. Some of these parts were missing and broken and things like that. I showed some of it in the previous video. So what I'm going to be doing today is just going through a couple of trucks, getting a few small parts out, nothing major. And when I get home, I'll show you all the goodies that I found. Alright, so here's the truck in question that I'm going to be getting a few things off of. I've already removed some parts off of it. I'm not going to tell you which ones until I get home, and I'll show you all the goodies that I found. But this truck is in, as far as the interior, is in really good shape. It has leather seats in it, and it does have a third row back here. These seats could be really cleaned up really nice and installed and save fuel, but my wife really doesn't care for the leather in this truck because it is kind of hard. But if you was to clean it with some scrubbing bubbles and some mink oil, you could bring these seats back to life. The worst one is this. It's still not torn, but this is the worst seat just because of this. I thought about buying these seats and cleaning them up, and because these seats are $15 for the front, each front seat, which is $30. I think this back seat is $30, and the third row seat is $30. So you could get all leather seats for your truck for just $90. Not a bad deal. Now, like I said, I'm getting some of the dash parts and things like that. When I got into this truck, it was untouched. Nobody's pulled anything off of it. Everything you see missing, pretty much I've taken off. So I'm going to keep trying to remove some of the small stuff on this truck, and I'll check back with you as soon as I get home. Alright, so here's some of the parts that I got out of this truck at that pick and pull. This is a lower part of the dash on the driver's side. This is where your fuse box would be. I went ahead and got this because they did screw some holes all in here, I guess, up in here somewhere for those mics. So I'm just going to get a new piece. This part right here goes around your steering column, and then this is the upper part of the dash. Mine is cracked right here, and then this is the bezel. And what happened on mine is you can see on the back of this bezel you have these little tabs here, and then there's one here, and then one here. These are all broken on my bezel, so I can't use it. And then there's one of these little metal clips that's supposed to be on here that's missing. The only bad thing, a couple of bad things wrong with this bezel is somebody put in a flashing red light for an alarm. And then as you can see, the paint is starting to come off of the bezel. Now what we're gonna do is, you can see it's starting to bubble up right there. What I'm gonna do is scuff all this down, use some primer, and then we'll be repainting this, and all these parts that I'm probably going to be showing you that go around the dash, I'll be repainting. Now here's just an extra cup holder, ashtray thing. I just got it because it kind of goes to this part of the dash, so I'll be repainting that front as well. Also, this is a good shape. This actually works, which is kind of rare. The only bad thing about this dash, for one, is this clip is broke. Looks like there's another clip right here that broke. There's a clip here that broke, and a clip here that broke. Now, and there's one way back here that's broke. Now, I have found another truck that has another, we'll call this the outer dash thingy. He has one of those just like this, so I'm probably going to go and buy that out of that truck. It's not at a pick and pull, but it's from an individual who has one. Once I got this dash here home, I did notice these broken tabs, and if I can get another one that doesn't have any broken tabs on it, I'm going to get it. They're fairly cheap at the pick and pull, and this gentleman's going to sell it to me with a price that is comparable to the pick and pull. Alrighty, so what I have here is the center console out of an Expedition, basically the same year. Now, my truck does not have a center console, kind of has that 60-40 bench seat across the front, so I want to put in a console just because of the extra cup holders and the storage, you know, in here, because my truck does not have a storage place in the fold down armrest in the truck. So what I'm going to be doing, this console is in pretty good shape. It's pretty much disassembled, and what I'm going to do is be cleaning each individual part. This does not have to be painted because all the, looks like the paint on it is in pretty good shape, so I'm not going to go ahead, I'm not going to fool with that. I'm just going to clean it really well, clean this up, and install it straight into the truck. Alrighty, so we're going to be installing a console. What we're going to have is a passenger seat. Now, the driver's seat in this 99 Expedition or 98 Expedition is the same, as long as it's the high back like that, as the seat that's a bucket with a console or a 60-40 seat. Driver's seat is the same. The only difference is the passenger seat. Now this seat come out of an Expedition that I found off of Facebook. The gentleman's parting it out, and I'm going to be getting some more parts from him, like the dash. But this seat come out of his truck. Now the only bad thing, well, a couple of bad things about this seat is it's really dirty. It's a really dirty seat. It's got a few like burn holes in it, or I think these are just heavy spots. That may look like a cigarette burn, maybe a cigarette burn here. But overall, the outside cushioning is in fairly good shape. It's just extremely dirty. Same thing with the upper piece here. We got a serious burn hole here. Kind of got one up here. Now, one thing about these seats, we're going to talk about passenger seats only. At least the seat that I have and the seat that's going here. Usually, this seat cover top part is the same as what's in my 98 Expedition. The only difference in this seat, and I didn't notice it till after I bought it, is the pattern on the fabric is different. So even if I clean this up and put it in my truck as it is, the fabric pattern is not going to match. So what I'm going to do is take the top off of this seat, off the top part, the cover, and the cover off the bottom, and I'm going to clean them up really well just to see how well this seat will clean up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the upper part of my seat that's in my truck, and I'm going to swap out the tops. And then what I'm going to do is hopefully I will be able to find another bottom. Now I do have an idea of the way these seats are made. Here, I believe I could actually take the cover off of the bottom part of this cushion, take the one off of my truck to an upholstery shop here in town, and I'm pretty sure they could take what I already have and recover this seat. Because the way the seat covers are made, I think they could probably make it work. And being the only problem that I might run into would be on this side, and that's the side that faces the console. Nobody would ever be able to see it. So that may be a cheap option that I can do, just to reupholster this seat with the fabric and the covers that I already have. Door panels. Now, in a previous video, I made a comment that how this handle was broke. I was going to try to just replace this handle, but when I went to the pick and pull, these panels are 15 bucks. I got us an extra switch. So I was like, well, I'll just buy the whole door panel, and I don't have to fool with taking that off and all that stuff. I'm just going to clean this door panel up and reinstall it. And then what I also had to do was get some new seals for it. This seal right here is up here by the window. And I guess what happened is the rear driver's side window, the track come loose from the window, and then the track went crazy. It pushed up through this panel and tore this seal and kind of warped the top of this door panel. So I was like, 15 bucks, I'll get that. It came with this seal, so easy peasy. Just swap it out. This is the passenger door on the front. Now, I'm assuming that there were some officers riding in this truck, and the officer that was sitting on the passenger side, or at least somebody, must have been carrying a firearm or a radio or something, because all right in here it looks like it was really banged up. Maybe they shut the door, it would hit their gun or something on their belt, and it just kind of nicked all that up. Saw this door panel, 15 bucks, swap it out, looks good as new once I clean them up. This seal here is for the driver door, goes to the driver door. And what happened there again, looks like the way they were getting in the truck, it scratched the outside of the truck, probably a gun, a radio, handcuffs, who knows, taser, whatever they carry on their belts, maybe a badge. It scratched up the outside of the truck pretty well, and then as they got into the truck, whatever was on their belt kept hitting this gasket or seal, and it tore the seal. So seal was free, got it, swap it out, easy peasy, that's fixed. Alrighty, so what we have now is an overhead console. My truck did not come with an overhead console, so there are a few things extra that I have to have. One are the visors. These visors that were on this truck right here at the pick and pull are shorter than the ones that are on my truck. My truck are really long because there's no overhead console to get in the way. So I got two visors and all the little hardware to put them up and lock them into place. And then I got this overhead console. What I'm going to be doing is, since my truck does not have rear air, I'm going to be removing this control panel. And up here is where I'm going to put all of my switches, like for my lights. Since my truck doesn't have fog lights, I'm probably going to put a switch for fog lights, lights up on top of the rack. Any accessories that I want to add to the truck, I'm going to be putting in switches here, so that way they're out of the way, above my head, and then it'll kind of be a clean install. But since I don't have rear air, take that out, keep that part, because these are worth some money, or when yours goes bad in the dash, they're interchangeable. Alrighty, moving on to the back of the vehicle. Now, when I get ready to install a stereo in this truck, I'm going to be adding this box. This is a factory 8-inch subwoofer box. I'm assuming the amp works, don't really care. I'm probably going to be replacing that amp. Going to be replacing this sub because the sub itself is all cracked out. But where this goes is inside of the trim panel in the back of the truck, and what it does is it puts it out of the way and makes it look like a clean install. I'm not out here to be blowing people's windows out with bass. I'm just trying to add a little bit into my truck to make it sound better. So I'll be putting in all new speakers in the truck and adding this box. Now, having a custom box like this made to where it would fit in your truck exactly like this will cost a lot of money. This cost me $18. I just bought it for this box. Now what this is this is the cover that goes on the back panel. This is a tan color. What I'm going to do is, when I start painting my dash parts, I'm going to paint this part so that way it kind of blends in with the back of the truck, and it just snaps into the panel in the back. What's there right now is kind of like a little storage compartment thing, and it just pops out and this interchanges, and when I get it all painted, it'll be nice. So we'll be adding a new 8-inch subwoofer and probably an Alpine amp. I think the subwoofer is probably a Pioneer sub, so that's the plan, at least for now. All right, so here's some of the last pieces I've bought from the pick and pull so far, and these are basically the door seal trim pieces. These actually come out of my truck. The new ones that I bought are in it. What happens is these have been removed so many times, these kind of outside clips right here are broken. Since they were good from the truck at the pick and pull, I just went ahead and got all 4 of them. You know, some of these tabs will break and so on and so on. So just got those put on. They were cheap, and it's nice to have extra ones. Now, one thing my truck doesn't have that the truck at the pick and pull did are tow hooks. Now these hardly cost me anything. What I'm gonna do is sandblast them, paint them, and then when I have the truck repainted or something like that, I'll stick them back on the truck. Like $5 for those things or something. So easy to swap out, and it'll make the truck look a lot better. Alrighty, last but not least is this powered mirror for the driver's side of the truck. On my truck, the mirror is cracked right up the middle. So when I was pulling the parts off this other truck, I seen this mirror was good. It matches the one on my truck, chrome, in good shape. So, you know, for like $5–10 bucks, I think this thing was, why not just go ahead and replace it? All right, so what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to organize my shelves. And what I've done is I've taken the top 2 shelves up here and I've put all my parts from the 98. And as some of my other projects, I'm gonna be filling up these spots with on my 78 and my 94 F-150. I'm gonna be organizing all the parts on these shelves so that way they don't get confused. I mean, I have a lot of parts everywhere for this 78, so try not to get the parts confused and lose any. So if you're doing something like this, and you're gonna be a while before you can get to painting them or doing something like that, just try to get you someplace you can put it all together and store it. All right, so I hope you liked the video of all the stuff that I found at my local pick and pull. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I ask you to please subscribe to the channel, because the more people that subscribe, the more of that YouTube money we can get and do bigger and better projects in the near future. So also comment down below. If you've ever been to a pick and pull and you found some good parts like that, comment that down below. Or you know, if you go to a junkyard, which they're usually, I believe, more expensive than a pick and pull, because at the pick and pull, you have to do the work and pull the parts. So that was one that, it was local. We have one, and I was like, well, I'm just going to go over there and see if I can find this door handle. And when I got there, I found this whole entire truck that's almost identical to mine, but in a little bit better shape in some ways than others. You know, so things that I may get out of this truck that's coming up, maybe the carpet, because it has all the holes cut for the console in the middle of the truck. Also the holes for the nuts or the bolts for the seats. I also may get all the seats in the truck because it's all leather and it's in pretty good shape. It needs to be thoroughly cleaned, but I believe I could clean it up enough to where it would be very nice to put in this truck if I ever wanted to go to leather. Since it's the 2 bucket seats up front, the second row and the third row, I could clean all those seats up and probably sell them for double or triple for what I would pay for them at the pick and pull, because usually the pick and pulls are really cheap. So that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to get out of here, and y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video.